Hello YouTube, and sorry my update is so late. I actually meant to do my 16-week update like a few days ago, but I had some stuff going on, and I've had some things going on the past few weeks that have made getting my updates out a little more difficult. So I'm getting you an update now. I had my 12-week appointment. I cannot even remember what the date was now. But anyway, when I was 12 weeks, I had the 12-week appointment. And it went pretty good. My doctor did a glucose test because I had tested positive for gestational diabetes with my son and being overweight. He wanted to go ahead and do one early. So he did the glucose test at 12 weeks, and I passed. So as of right now, no gestational diabetes, so that's awesome. Don't have to do all the poking my finger every day, several times a day. We didn't discuss any more about the progesterone, that appointment. I did get a little frustrated because my doctor, instead of, I don't know if I mentioned it before, instead of using the Doppler, my doctor has a small portable ultrasound machine, and it literally, I mean, it's not the best quality. It literally is like, it looks like a little laptop. So especially with being overweight and everything, he was having a hard time finding the baby's heartbeat. He did find it, and but I wasn't able to see it very well, like especially because of the glare from the lights and everything else on the screen. I had a hard time seeing it myself, but I did see the baby bouncing around. So, and he even laughed and he says, "Well, the baby wouldn't be bouncing around if it didn't have a heartbeat." So, so yeah, the baby was good. My doctor does now offer what is called the Panorama test, which is, it actually goes by several different names, but the Panorama is the one that he does. And it tests for genetic defects and stuff like Down syndrome, trisomy 18, trisomy 13, stuff like that. And this one now that they offer, this new one, can actually tell you the baby's gender through the blood test. And because they were drawing blood samples for, like the regular your iron levels and all that kind of stuff, I told him to go ahead and draw the blood for the Panorama test, but then I would talk to my doctor and everything and decide from there what I wanted to do. So I talked to my doctor, and he pretty much said it roughly around the same thing that we had talked about when I was pregnant with my son, which I really appreciate the fact that he will actually sit and talk to you about what all these tests and stuff mean, and what the next steps would be if you were to get a positive, the rates of false positives and stuff like that. And so we had talked about that, and it basically came down to pretty much the same thing. For me personally, if the baby tested positive for any of those defects, it wouldn't change how I would carry out the rest of the pregnancy. I would not do the amnio or the CVS because of the risk of miscarriage, and I wouldn't terminate. So it kind of was like, there are false positives and stuff, and any major life-threatening or potentially dangerous defects should be caught on ultrasound. So if the baby has like a severe cleft palate and cleft lip or something like that, or gastroschisis or whatever, and it would require surgery shortly after birth, those things would be caught on ultrasound. So I decided, well, I said it really isn't worth it. I can wait the few more weeks that I need to wait to find out the baby's gender. So I decided against it. Actually, what I ended up doing, because the finding out the gender was really piqued my interest on that. So what I decided to do was I called my husband, and I talked to Thomas about it, and we had decided, like he said, he says, the baby is going to be born however the baby's born, and we will find out the gender soon enough. And so really, for us, it wouldn't have changed anything. So, and all I would end up doing is, worrying over a potential false positive. So we decided not to do that. That was pretty much it for my 12-week appointment. My symptoms between then and now have been, and I've actually got notes this time, so I don't say a whole lot of ums. My symptoms are, I really haven't had any more morning sickness. I've had a couple of mornings that I woke up feeling kind of cruddy, but not like actual morning sickness. It was like once I ate something, I was fine. My biggest thing has been food aversions and food cravings. It's like if I want something to eat, I gotta have that. I can't eat anything else because the thought of anything else makes me want to gag. And then there are a lot of foods like there are a lot of foods that I actually love that I just can't stand the thought of eating right now. I've been having a lot of round ligament pain. I don't know, that's really the only way to describe it is the round ligament pains. I've had a lot of those. I have also started having the symptoms of SPD, and it's not sensory whatever disorder or whatever. This is actually symphysis pubic dysfunction, which I actually have really bad joints. My joints are excessively loose anyway, and I'm already, I just turned 31 and I'm already developing arthritis, or have been actually for the past few years, because of my joints being loose and everything dislocates easily and whatnot. And so when you're pregnant, you produce the hormone relaxin, which loosens your joints and relaxes your muscles. It's part of what causes constipation and everything else when you're pregnant. And so what this does is it can make your joints really, really loose, including the joint in your pelvis, because your pelvis in the front, your pubic bone meets together like this. And what happens is that joint and those ligaments get really, really loose, and it just starts grinding and slipping and popping, and it causes a lot of pain in your pelvis and in your hips. And I actually had it with Timothy, but it didn't start until the 3rd trimester, and this time it started at the end of the 1st trimester. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't get as bad as it did with Timothy. The good thing about it is, though, after I didn't notice any of that pain during labor, and it appeared to completely go away after birth. So I do have that to look forward to. I have started feeling the baby move around. This is, baby number 4 for us, so it's not out of the norm for me to start feeling the baby move, considering I've done this 3 other times. But I started feeling like the flutters and stuff around 13 weeks. It was, to begin with, it was just flutters, like kind of feels like gas bubbling around, but you don't burp or pass gas when you feel it bubbling around like you normally would. So that kind of is the tip off that that's probably the baby moving and not just gas. But I would have like occasional little bump here and there, but it's the past few days, actually I would say like probably about the past week, it's gotten a lot stronger. But I think I can definitely tell the difference between if the baby's facing out or if the baby's facing my back, because I can go a couple of days where I really can feel the movements really strongly, and I feel more of the bumping and all that kind of stuff, and then other days it'll be like I can kind of feel the flutters and stuff, but the movements aren't as intense or as strong. So I'm thinking it's just the way the baby's facing. It's either if the back is facing out, I don't feel as much, or I should say, if the baby's facing my back, I don't feel as much. But if the baby is facing to the outside, then I can, more clearly feel the movements. I am having some heartburn still, lots of heartburn, and it sucks. But as far as symptoms go, that's pretty much it, except for TMI, having constipation issues. But hopefully that I've been trying to drink a lot more fluids, and I've started taking a stool softener, so hopefully that'll help with that. We did buy the baby's first outfit, and I forgot to bring it over here with me, but we bought the first gender-neutral outfit for the baby. Actually, I can go get it right now because I got a child hollering for me. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. So anyway, so we bought the first outfit for the baby. Actually, my middle daughter and I had gone to Carter's, because you cannot find I cannot talk, gender neutral anything anywhere except for Carter's. So we went in there and I got, this is actually a two-piece set, but it's this. It has this little onesie with the little giraffes and little animals and little ducky hat and little footy pants, and then this onesie outfit, or footy pajamas. And then I have this one too. Now this one was a gender neutral outfit that I actually bought for what was the first chemical. Sorry, this hair is driving me nuts. The first chemical pregnancy. I had bought this from Old Navy. And this was before I lost that baby. But so I'll use it for this one. So, and I was actually really sad because I thought at one point I was going to have to take it back to the store, but then things worked out and I didn't have to. And but it made me really sad because I didn't want to have to take it back. But anyway, so I got those. And let's see what do I have next. Okay, Monday was my 16-week appointment. That was Monday the 21st, well, which was yesterday. I had my 16-week appointment. I am currently right now 16 weeks and 3 days. He did do a little ultrasound because, like I said, he does an ultrasound instead of using the Doppler every visit. And I did get to see baby bouncing around and everything. It was pretty uneventful, mostly because there really wasn't anything more than a belly check and, doing like a pee check, where they test for glucose and proteins and all that good junk. And so that was pretty much it. We did talk for a while because I had mentioned that my husband was getting a vasectomy, and so he was talking like, in the event that you have to have a C-section, would you consider getting your tubes tied if you're not going to have any more? And so we talked a little bit about that, and I did mention too that I have issues with I have placenta issues. And of course he laughed and he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, because I had retained placenta with Timothy, and so I was, going over, what my preferences were and whatnot with, when the placenta is removed and everything. And I told him, I said, but I'm not really worried about, talking about all of that until we get closer to the 36 week, like big talk or whatever, like he does, where we go over, informed consent, and, if I want to change anything in that, or, mark something out, put something else in, what what I'll agree to, what I won't agree to, that kind of thing. And then he goes over your birth plan and everything else with you. When he does all that. And so I told him, I said, we'll talk about all of that then. And but for right now, we just won't worry about all that. But I do have issues when it comes to the placenta, because I do not want to go through retained placenta again. So he did crack a couple of jokes. It was funny. I was telling him about the pelvis issue, and I told him that I was hurting so bad I couldn't see straight. And well, I was actually mostly talking about when I was pregnant with Timothy, because it hasn't gotten that bad yet this time. And I told him that I was hurting so bad I couldn't see straight, and and so I was like, oh, it really sucks. And he looks at me and he's like, wow, you're a very talented lady. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he says, well, being able to see through your pelvis, that's quite a feat and everything. And I'm like, wait, what did I say? Did I say something about seeing from my pelvis? Huh? And he's like, and he says, well, you said your pelvis was hurting so bad you couldn't see straight. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, ah. And I was like, oh, you so funny. And so we had a good laugh about that. That was funny. But we did talk about other kind of like options and stuff, because I told him if I were to get my tubes tied, if I were to have a C-section instead of getting my tubes tied, I would prefer to have a hysterectomy. Number one, because I'm petrified of ectopic pregnancy, and I've known 2 women who had their tubes tied and ended up with ectopic pregnancies and almost died. Number 2, I used to have really bad bleeding problems where I was like bleeding for, my periods were lasting like 5 weeks or more. And I really don't want to go through that again. So, yeah. So I told him I would prefer to just go ahead and do a hysterectomy. But, of course, he said, no, we're not doing that. And I was like, well, why not? And, of course, he goes over this. He says, I'm going to educate you now. And I'm like, okay, you go ahead and you educate me. So he went all over, you know, about why they can't do hysterectomies, you know, the difference between a partial, complete, and all this other kind of stuff having to do with that. So that was pretty neat. Like I said, that's something I actually really appreciate about my doctor, is the fact that he will sit and talk to you and explain to you these things. And he doesn't talk to you like you're an idiot. Like he talks to you like you're on the same, you know, intellectual level as he is. Just you may not have been taught about these things. So that's always, to me, that's really nice. So, but anyway, outside of that, I have my anatomy scan scheduled for 19 weeks and 2 days. So it'll be August the 11th. I will have my apologies again for that. My iPad decided it didn't have enough storage space, and then it cut it off. And what's funny is I kept talking and didn't even realize that it had stopped recording. Anyway, my anatomy scan is scheduled for 19 weeks and 2 days. That's August the 11th. And so we will find out the gender of the baby then. I'm hoping to do a really nice gender reveal video. So we'll see. We'll see what I come up with and how that works out. I did get an opportunity to call and ask my insurance company about what pumps, breast pumps that they cover, and I actually found out they cover the Medela pumping style, which is pretty nice because that's actually the same one that I had. I bought it when shortly after Marley was born, but I didn't really get to use it all that much because I had dried up and had to switch to formula. Like a month or so after I bought it. And then with Timothy, because of him being in the NICU and hooked up to wires and all that other kind of stuff, I didn't get to work with him from day one on breastfeeding, and he got used to the bottle, and I never really could get him to latch on right, so I had to exclusively pump with him, and I wore my Medela out, so because it's really not working all that well anymore. When I dried up probably when Timothy was about 9 months old. I dried up, which is actually pretty good considering that the longest I went with any of my kids was like 3 or 4 months. So I lasted about 9 months with him. But anyway, alright, so I do plan on, for my 20-week video, as long as I can make sure I stay on my videos, I'm going to do my version of newborn must-haves, because at that point I'll know the baby's gender, and so I'll be able to start compiling some of my stuff that I have and whatnot. I've said it before, like on my videos and like on forums and stuff. I am probably a true minimalist. You know, I don't have a diaper bag. I have a giant purse. I don't have a lot of things that a lot of people think that they need. I'm getting fussed at again. This is exactly why I don't make my videos during the day typically. I usually wait till at nighttime when the kids are in bed. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I've got for you guys this time. Not a whole lot has gone on, except for what I've wrote down and told you guys about. One thing we have, I believe, decided. We've definitely decided on a boy name. We're still we've got a few contenders for girl names, but we haven't quite nailed one down yet. But basically, we're not revealing the baby's name until the baby is born. That includes my family, his family, everybody. So, sorry, y'all get to hear the name when the baby's born, and I do a video, you know, showing the new baby and whatnot. So, so yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. I want to say thank you to any of my new subscribers. That's pretty much it. So hopefully we'll see you guys in a couple of days. I will do my 17-week video. I hope. That's my plan, is to keep up on them. Like I said, the past few weeks have been kind of crazy, you know, with summertime, and you know, just every weekend when my weeks roll over, it's been one thing after another. So this will hopefully be the end of the long stint of not hearing anything from me. So, but anyway, so we'll see you guys next time, and everybody have a great day, and God bless everybody. Bye-bye.